We are done with the non-chordates. Now we are moving further to the chordates. Before we start with the chordates, we have to deal with a phylum known as protochordata. As you can hear in the name itself, proto means primitive and chordata, we are talking about chordates, so we have protochordata. Those organisms which are primitively chordates, they are not completely chordates, but they are primitively chordates. Now because we are repeating this word chordate so much, we need to know what would be a chordate like. If I have to give you an explanation or a description of a particular organism that happens to be a chordate, we must be very much clear with the fact that what would be the characteristics of a chordate. So we have with us the chordate characteristics, and the most exclusive chordate characteristic that you need to know is the presence of notochord. Okay, now what is this notochord? Notochord is a cylindrical structure. The name itself means a cylindrical structure that is present inside a chordate, and an organism happens to be a chordate if notochord is present at any stage of their life. Okay, we are chordates, but we do not have a notochord. But we do have notochord when we are in embryonic stages. That is why we belong to chordates. Now talking about any organism, it must have a cylindrical rod-like structure present in its body at any stage of its life, which separates the alimentary canal. Now this is the alimentary canal which has two openings, which is responsible for the digestion, which separates the alimentary canal from the nervous system. This you have to remember. Okay, a chordate must have a notochord separating the alimentary canal from the nervous system of the body. You know very well we have the nervous system in our backbone, alright, that spinal cord part. Now that is the nervous system which is present dorsally. Now we know that what dorsal and ventral side also means. So we have a dorsal nervous system which is separated from a ventral digestive system by a notochord. Okay, apart from that, there are other secondary characteristics for a chordate, which is that there should be a hollow nerve cord, there should be pharyngeal gill slits, and there should be post-anal tail. Now again I would bring you back to the example that we people are also chordates. Where are these characteristics? We do not have pharyngeal gill slits, we don't have gill slits over here, we do not have post-anal tail. All these characteristics are present in our embryonic developmental stages. Okay, so that is why we are categorized into chordates. Now coming to the protochordates, these are those organisms which have these characteristics, chordate characteristics, at some stage of their life. We may not be concerned about pharyngeal gill slits, we may not be concerned about dorsal nerve cord, but what is our prime concern, that whether it is having a notochord or not. Alright, so apart from other features, first one being that they are bilaterally symmetrical. Protochordates would be bilaterally symmetrical, first characteristic. Second, they would be triploblastic. Third, there would be coelomic cavity. Fourth, there will be an organ system level. Fifth, there would be a notochord which is present. Okay, and in the case of protochordates, we have exclusively marine organisms. What you see over here is Belanoglossus. This is an example of a protochordate, that is Belanoglossus. This is what their body looks like. Okay, we have a proboscis, that is mouth-like structure. Then we have a collar, we have proper genital region that is present, branchiogenital region which has pharyngeal gill slits present, there is a post-anal tail that is present, hepatic region. Body is properly differentiated into regions, there are organs and organ systems, they are properly organized into organ system. There was a notochord which was present in the initial stages. We have the example of Belanoglossus. This is a scientific name, you have to remember it. They are worm-like organisms basically, which are exclusively marine, found in the oceanic atmosphere. And then there is example of Amphioxus. This is actual picture of Amphioxus that you see over here. As you can see, this is a worm-like organism. Okay, it is having notochord at some stage. It will have, because it is having notochord, and notochord is the site for muscular attachment. Okay, the muscles are attached to the notochord in the primitive stages, so they have muscles as well, they have nervous system as well, there is well defined system, they will have an eye as well, there would be a collar, there would be a proboscis. So in particular, these organisms are yet more advanced than what we have studied previously. So this is all about the phylum protochordates. Try to recall the examples with their scientific names. First one is Belanoglossus that we saw. Second one is this one, Amphioxus. that is known as lancelet otherwise, and third one is herd mania. When you are promoted to higher classes and you happen to take biology as your favorite subject, you will come across the more classifying characteristics that all these are belonging to different criteria. Some has notochord present in their body for complete life, some have in their tails only, some have again in the embryonic stages. So this is all about you have to understand in the protochordates, and brace yourself for further knowledge. In the case of chordates, you are going to see more complex life forms as we move further in the case of chordates. This is but just a beginning, and these are the most primitive chordates to be very specific.